transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, ni hao. In India, namaste. In Japan, konnichiwa. In Korea, annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, здравствуйте. In Germany, guten Tag. In Poland, dzień dobry. In France, bonjour. In Spain, hola. In Italy, ciao. In Egypt, ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, akwaba. In Nigeria, paleo. In South Africa, sawubona. In Senegal, mangadek. In Kenya, jambo. In Israel, shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
And grand rising. And let us bring in our host, Mamadee.
Hallelujah. Greetings, global transformers. Way-O in Yah-Shalom. Way-O means we are one, and Shalom is the actual Hebrew sacred name for God. I'm your host, Evangel Mamadee Love Yah Nubian, for Wisdom with Mamadee, Blog Talk Radio, the Female Solution. Wisdom means women in support of daughters on motherhood preparation. So today, we have a special program and a special guest. The Honorable show is dedicated to the Honorable, I'll say that I like saying that word, Honorable. The Honorable candidate for the mayor of the city of Chicago, Dr. Willie Wilson. But before we bring him on, I voted for Mayor Lightfoot because Dr. Willie Wilson told his supporters to vote for her. But I have 12 reasons for not voting for her ever again. And those reasons are, number one, the very next day after studies showed that blacks were dying from COVID at a rate of 72%. Latinos and whites were tied at 17% and Asians at 5%. She issued an executive order guaranteeing 19 benefits to sanctuary settlers, and I'll just share 3 of them. They included over $100,000 in business loans, $100,000 checks, $1,000 checks. I wanted to make sure I got that correct. $1,000 checks and $100,000 in remote learning devices for their children. Number two, Dr. Willie Wilson spearheaded reparations resolution. Their Lightfoot decided to gut it, and organizations like Cobra and others did a protest march against her action. The $500 a month with no questions asked, that idea came out of the reparations ordinance that was, as I said before, spearheaded by Dr. Wilson. Number three, when the George Floyd's BLM protest turned violent, Mayor Lightfoot sent the police force downtown to guard up boarded up buildings that had already been looted, while the South Side, especially the 15th Ward, was left unprotected. And when Mayor Lightfoot encouraged gangbangers to protect their community, so they were snatching Black people out of their cars and beating them up for just driving down the street. So when Alderman Raymond Lopez called her out for doing this at City Council, she verbally attacked them. Number five, Black children, including babies, toddlers, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, were murdered, and they were dying in record numbers. Well, I never saw a press conference where the mayor stood with these grieving mothers who had lost their little one and youngsters they were all under the age of 19. She didn't stand with them. However, the minute a 13-year-old Latino boy who had been shooting before he dropped his gun in a fraction of a second, and the police shot back, she had a press conference and she wanted to know who put that gun in that child's hand. A 10-year-old girl was shot and killed. Again, she had a press conference and stood with these grieving families while ignoring the grief of Black people. Number seven, Mayor Lightfoot passed the curfew ordinance, and it impacted Black youngsters the most because their parents, according to the Justice Department, earn half of what whites earn in the city of Chicago. So these youngsters often just listened to the music, hanging out in the car, because they didn't have a ticket. And so if they didn't have a ticket stub to prove that they were part of a city-sponsored event, then they were in violation of curfew. And say, for instance, one of these youngsters had a younger sibling with them. Well, their curfew was 8:30. So whereas the older youngsters' curfew was 10 o'clock, this youngster would be in violation of the curfew because he had a younger sibling with him. So, number 8, he pulled the I'm a Black woman convenience card, and she said she didn't know anything about Antoinette Young and the video, while working behind the scenes to do everything possible to see that video from coming to life. And she was caught. about being in favor of red light, and being in favor of that consent decree, and which is today is still about maybe a third in compliance, and yet she added more money and extended the consent decree by 3 years. But she felt differently about it when she was running for that office. And she said number 10, she said she was against red light cameras, but when she got into the office, all of a sudden she was for it. 11, she continued to put sanctuary settlers and sanctuary seekers' needs above, and then their needs based on privilege for the needs of citizens who have a right and vote. She puts the others in front of them. So they leapfrog ahead, have housing, while black people, most of them veterans, are evicted from Viaduct. But finally, number 12, this really shows a lot about the conscience of character, like all these other things, but this one really does. We had a 400-year, 2016 to 1619 to 2019 was 400 years of the first blacks arriving in chains in America on August 20th, 1619. Well, Global Committee commemorating King Days and advocates for indigenous, native, Black American rights were following a law. It was, I think it was Public Law 1242, and it was 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. And this act came with up to $20,000 that was paid to any organizations and individuals that talked about the significance of blacks to the development of the United States of America. So I'm the president of the Global Committee commemorating Kings. We put in our proposals for it, and as a matter of fact, it was granted. But what Mayor Lightfoot did was we took the proposal, I drafted it like I drafted the ordinance and created the idea for Emmett Till Road and drafted the only resolution in existence for the Million Man March. So I drafted this resolution for the 400-year commemoration and told them about where we would be having this event down at the Blue Palmer's place with the Marcus Garvey group having their meetings there. So what we did was we took it to Sophia Hall. She changed so many things about it, so we took it to someone else. Now this was Monday, and they were having their last city council meeting because they were out for the month of August. So what happened was Alderman Jason Urban put in the resolution in the omnibus. It passed. It was given a number. So I wanted a copy of it so that we could use it in our advertisement. But it was never ready. So at the end of the day, what happened was Mayor Lightfoot, who we had asked for a photo op to talk about the 400th anniversary and the existence of it. So what happened was,
well, Mamadee, we have your picture up on the screen here, and we want to give Dr. Wilson a chance to respond, because I don't know if he might have to leave before, you know, we run into.
No, it's 1:15. He has until 2:00.
Yeah, but you know, he's running for office, so I don't want to.
Yeah, excuse me.
I want to make sure he gets his full hour like the rest of them, you know. We talked about that.
Excuse me, I'm on point 12, and I'm giving him 45 minutes. I'm giving myself 15, okay?
We got you.
So, the last point, this says a lot about the concept of character, and it says a lot when you can't talk about a 400-year anniversary of the arrivals of kidnapped captives in the continent, and this was a blueprint for reparations. So it's a bad part to interrupt. In any case, what happened was the mayor backdated the resolution. In other words, a bona fide alderman in the city of Chicago had written out a resolution. It passed in July. And she changed the number on that resolution and backdated it and signed it in September. So instead of letting it go through in July, saying this is what we are going to do on August 20th, she went and changed everything and signed it in September, and it read, this is what was done in July. This was done in August, and she is signing it in September.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that takes a lot to do that, to dishonor an alderman and change the date to deprive the world of a 400-year anniversary of our arrival to this country, and there was no commercials on TV about it, no nothing. And then we wonder why there's such disrespect. Now, I'd like to introduce the Honorable, I love saying that word, Willie Wilson. And I want to thank you and welcome you to Wisdom with Mamadee and this special that we have never done before. No person has ever had more than a half an hour, which included their presentation as well as included their calling. So you are first, and this is a tremendous honor for me to have you come and be part of the Female Solution Wisdom with Mamadee. And you got the floor. Tell us about your background. Tell us about why you're in this election. Tell us about anything that you want to talk about, because I know that you have a head for business and you have a heart for hurting people, and you want all of us to have a better life, especially when the citizens should come first. Take it away, Dr. Wilson.
Okay, Mamadee, thank you for having us and for the invite. We appreciate it very much. Well, my background is Gibbon, Louisiana. You know, we are sharecroppers, big cotton and chop cotton and all that kind of stuff. And we got to Chicago in 1965. Artisan job, went to New York and came back to Chicago and worked at McDonald's restaurant and mopping floors and things of that nature, and worked my way up until I became a situation we owned 5 McDonald's after Rick Kroc gave me the opportunity to get one. And so we worked 10 years for someone else. 5 of those years we worked every day without a day off. So, and that includes Christmas, Thanksgiving, and 4th of July, we work. So eventually after that, we ended up getting and owning 5 of it. So as we move along in the city of Chicago, these different jobs, and get to McDonald's. We left McDonald's restaurant and became a suppliers of them. And after that, we decided to, look out and start to continually to help others. And so today, my wife and I, we give away 100% of every penny that we make back to the community. We look after our senior citizens, our churches, our young people, and we look out for all the people who's at a disadvantage and seem to be struggling, having a tough time. So we try to be fair to everyone that is out here. When we ran out of face masks, Chicago didn't have any face masks to give out. The state, and we took 6 million face masks, and we gave it to all of the citizens of Chicago, pretty much, and then the state of Illinois. We even went down to California and gave away some, and New Orleans too. And so we every 3 months we could usually go around to all of the senior citizens home in Chicago, particularly the ones at the CHA, and we give each senior citizen like $25 to $50 a piece to get food. Well, that was cut out by the people at CHA last 4 months. Wouldn't allow me back there, so we started going to other senior citizen homes. And we also support our senior citizens in our churches, as well as the churches themselves, too. So that's basically what we do. I'm running for office, politics, because basically right now is the crime, to stop the crime, to get on top of this. Taxes, run people, citizens out of Chicago and take their home. We're looking at running to stop all that kind of carrying on. And we're looking for equal opportunity, equality for all citizens, but not leaving out the Black and brown community as related to contracts and jobs. Making sure that we can empower our community to be able to make it on their own. We contract the job, but these things are ours, but a lot of it hardly get back to some of our community, and we want to be fair about it and make sure that everybody gets this proportion of it too. And then we want to be inclusion out here as well, and we want to make sure that our education system is going to be working fairly. We believe that senior citizens should deal a day at their places if they cannot afford to pay for it. We believe we got to put some urgent care facility in the senior citizen home so they won't be able to, those that can't be able to get out and go to a doctor got right there within their particular home. And so people ask how you gonna pay for it. I said, well, what we need to do is have a line item for all new business that comes in and take 3% that and set that aside for senior citizens and hard time people have, such as COVID. When a lot of people lost their home and lost their job because of COVID-19, we need to have a hardship fund that helps bail them out until they can get on their feet, and then they can pay it back at that particular time then. And I believe in being fair. I'm running for mayor, but I don't want to receive a paycheck. Nor do I want anybody to give me $50,000 or $100,000 or nothing like that, because I'm not for sale. I'm not bought. And so that kind of gives you a brief situation there, because I don't want people to say I owe them something. People give me some major dollars. I don't want that. I don't need it. And so I want you to be to serve the people. And for my business experience, I believe I bring a lot to the table by helping young people become entrepreneurs and making sure entrepreneurs get their fair breaks and things like that to empower their community. Not only just in Chicago, but the state and around the United States as well. It is an international city, and Chicago should be able to make sure as they do business international, to make sure every particular nationality that is in inclusion that can get international business as well. So the person in business just shouldn't want to just do business with Chicago only because as the administration may change, they can then still have business international around the United States and the state of Illinois, and empower them not to be able to depend on just one source of their income. I believe that in coming in terms of the education side of it, get back that for a moment, it is that I believe before anybody would pass from the first grade to the sixth grade or sixth grade to complete school, that they should be required to have a trade. Because everybody that got into a diploma still can't get a job. But if you got a good trade, then you could get a job. And you can get a good job to paying a lot more money than minimum wage of $15 to $20 per hour, because you cannot even buy health insurance for minimum wage. So we got to make those dollars up there, $100 per hour, $50 per hour, $200 per hour, and you get that through trade and training. And we'll take and open up those facilities and make it happen. So that's kind of a brief overview from me right there. So if you got any questions for me, feel free to ask me.
Well, Dr. Wilson, you said you bring a lot to the table. I think many people will agree that you indeed bring a lot to the table. You mentioned you've been criticized for helping people who think that they should tell you how to spend your money. But you mentioned the high taxes. I happen to have been at, I think it was Reverend Thurston's church, and gave out about, and this is not when you were running for mayor. Wasn't even, I don't know if it's in your head to run for mayor or not, but I remember the sensational singers, and I tell you, you all really rocked that church that day.
Thank you.
Over $100,000 in people, $500, $600, $700, various amounts, helping them to keep their homes, because they were losing their homes because of the taxes that they couldn't pay. And for you to come forth on your very own and do that, and then get criticized as if you were trying to purchase some votes, and voting wasn't even on the table at that time. And I'm very familiar with how you helped the seniors, giving them each apartment a box containing 50 masks, and how you came to their aid with $25 when their Walgreens drugstores was boarded up, and the bank was boarded up. They couldn't get to medicine. They couldn't get to the money to pay bills. They couldn't get to the grocery store to buy food, and you were right there helping. And I think if you will help, and you don't have to, and you are not taking the job for a paycheck or to harm the citizens, how can anybody say anything against that and be critical of you helping when all the corruption and crime is doing so much harm?
Mamadee, we've got to take a quick break and give Dr. Wilson a second to think about that question you just asked. So we'll be right back after this quick break. And of course, after that answer, we've got our dear Monday morning mindfulness host, Zelda, with us, and we've got several callers on the line. Want to ask some questions. So Dr. Wilson, just stay close. We'll be right back to get your answer, and then more questions for our listeners and viewers on the Female Solution.
you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Light transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com. Jody Susan of Susan Essentials is certified by the #1 functional medicine doctor on plant-based healing essential oils, which are revolutionizing the way we manage our well-being. Schedule today to take control of your health. Okay, we are back, and you want to answer the question, and then we'll go.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The other question.
Okay. Well, when people criticize myself about giving and think we running for office to trying to buy votes, when we give in Chicago at the same time, we're giving in New York, Atlanta, Mississippi, New Orleans, all those different places around the country. And I'm not running for mayor in all those different places, but you know, so we've been doing this since last, I'd say since the last 35 to 40 years, we've been giving over $60 to $70 million back out to people around the country and Chicago. I just refuse to let a person out here that needs food to eat or Tent City living outside in the cold for a period of 2 to 3 months while somebody running for politics. I'd rather lose the office than to see somebody suffer and hungry or senior citizen need medication or they need food to eat. Things that nature, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to continue to just support them. Yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody can be tender-hearted and kind and to come from rags to riches. I guess that's the slogan that they would say. Just that journey alone is a miracle. And I noticed a commercial copying off of you. You know, your sharecropper story, they were so envious of it until all of a sudden they were the child of a sharecropping parent when they came from middle-class background. But it's just a wonderful thing to have a heart that cares for people with all this corruption and violence that we got going on. So anyway, let's have the comments from the audience.
Well, I'm going to open up a mic. Let me open up the mic. We're going to take you in this order. 252-590, and then 773-330, and then 773-440, and then 779-801. So just hold your place. We're going to take you. And, quick question or comment for our guests, because, you got other folks waiting. So 252-590. Your mic is open. I'm just.
Hi, my name is Anita.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. What was your name?
Anita. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up in the city of Chicago, and then my mother moved to Harvey, Illinois. And there was a lot of racism in the schools there, but I got one of the best educations in my primary grades in Chicago, and I had white teachers And I would like to keep all good teachers in that school district for all students. It doesn't matter the color or the gender, okay, or sex preference. As long as they can teach really well and they keep their personal business at home. So what I would like to see is children learning well, business community supporting the people instead of the people supporting the business community. And I also would like to see Black children be able to participate in activities that are in downtown Chicago and not be considered gangbanging class of people, even though we got mass shootings there. But, you know, I noticed they've been trying to eliminate the African-American community out of the downtown area and while they rebuild that area constantly, you know. So, one more thing. I'd like to see a Michael Jackson museum in Gary and work with that airport in Peatone to bring international business and trade to Chicago so that from tourism so that we can build up the south side of Chicago.
Yes. Well, the school is very important in education, but we have to build a foundation within our community, but those communities that are depressed and doesn't have the resources there. That's why I suggest that we will put trade in school. So when you go from one grade to the 12th grade, you're going to come out with 6 or 7 different trades. And then you can be able to get the job paying $100 or $200 per hour, that you can be able to compete. And then so we must take and prepare our young people to be able to be included downtown in part of the mayor office so you can get different ideas and viewpoints from the young people themselves. And that way you keep in touch because young people are different, they think different, and we need their idea, you know. We need their ideas, their thoughts, and so we can work together. So the best way of doing that is putting agents in office in City Hall to constantly communicate. Outside of that, we must take and have what you call anybody that wanted to take and have a special training and trade. I would say this way, that I would work with the major corporations, get them involved in terms of help develop and train people, these major corporations that are here in Chicago. I work closely with them so when they get out of school, you know, that they already know the trade, know how corporate America works. And lastly, you must make sure that they understand the stock market, because if they don't understand the stock market, you know, you got a lot of issues there that they wouldn't know how to even play it. Stock market goes down, your 401k go down. You know, all those particular things go down. So we got to educate, we got to train, we got to partnership with major corporations, and that's why I bring a lot to the table about understanding business. We must also understand international business. Like we know if you put $1 in the United States, that the dollar in China and the yen is not equal to the same amount of money. So we need to understand the international market, how that works. So we'll put a lot of time in that, having the people there. Lastly, put a safety net that if someone got a contract with the city of Chicago, we have a safety net there that somebody can see where they may be going wrong or they made the wrong decision, that they'll be there to help them make sure they stay in business but not go out of business.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Just one quick question. Are you for school choice?
I am for equal opportunity equality for all citizens. So look, this is a free country choice. If a school on the west side or a school downtown Chicago, regardless whether it's a charter school, whatever it may be, anybody have a right to decide where they want to send their kids to school. But oftentimes, a lot of the people into the community doesn't have the resources. And okay, so oftentimes too, in some of our schools in Chicago, people don't want to send their kids to the school, fear for that, you know, they got to walk, you know, across gang territory and everything else. So that's a parent decision whether they're going to allow them to go that way. Yeah, but if they want to send anybody in a place, it's a free country, do what you want to do. But I also think that every school should be equipped with technology and everything else like any other particular school may or may not have, but we got to bring in the expertise there and making sure that we can compete. Best of teachers, best of equipment, and we will make that happen.
Area code 773-330. Your mic is open. Go right ahead.
Yes, thank you, Sister Latifah. This is Brother Charles. I'd like to commend Dr. Wilson because he's done a lot, and I know his heart is right. You have to have a heart right in order to help somebody, and he's been helping a lot of people for a long time, financially. But we need economic stability and ability established in the mind, and he's working on that. I'd like to give him some support and help because of my organizational background and skills. I think that I could do a lot to help him manage and see the work that's needed, the work needed in the community accomplished. I'm pretty sure I can if I get the chance to talk with him and discuss the issues and things. I know that we can really work and make some good things happen.
All right. Thank you, Brother Charles.
Okay. Yeah. My doors, we did it as mayors in Chicago, my door will be open. Totally. I believe that the young people should be open to the senior citizen idea, the middle class people idea, that people that knows it, and also some of their ideas is mixed together. I just believe in communication because a lot of the time when we don't communicate, we miss it all. We think we think we know it all, and none of us knows it all. But together we can fix it together. And I think that's what is one of the things that like it in this administration today. They didn't have the open door policy to include people involved with it. I listen to everybody. You know, I listen to the person who's in Tent City. That's why I'm down there so much and give down at Tent City too, because those people out there cold and they ain't got no food, and I'm out there. And so I listen to everybody. I'm open. Again, I'm not doing this job to make a paycheck. I don't want a paycheck. I use my own money. I put in $6 million of my own money into this campaign with advertisement and things of that nature to make sure that I'm free to help the people. And I'll continue to do that. But yeah, we will have open doors, and we'll have different committees set up, and we'll make sure that every agency within City Hall reflect the population of Chicago to make up.
All right. Thank you so much. And area code 773-440. Your mic is open.
Hey, good afternoon, young people. Dr. Wilson, my question would be, if we do not establish a community code of conduct and rebuild the Black family and set up centers and training centers to re-educate our young people who are having children and they do not have the discipline and knowledge to raise their children, that's one. Would you support setting up council members where every community will have a council of 12, where when communities have issues and problems, they have appointed people to represent their community, number one. And I don't have a problem with assisting and helping people, but I don't think we need another welfare program. And I was going to try to present to you, because you have an inroad to a lot of churches and things of that nature, and we have lawn care that is heavily needed in our own community. And if those Black businessmen got together and set up training centers to train young people to do our own lawn care in our own community, that's another way that we will have a residual income to assist our young people and also give them a trade, because that's a huge business besides giving people money, that we can train our young people and use the churches and mosques and the community to invest in our own young people. What do you think about that, sir?
Oh, I think it's outstanding. I've been talking talking that a long time ago because, see, like, first of all, the churches is in the community already. A lot of people got to go across town or go to trade school, different sections of town, but they don't even have enough money to do that with. We use our churches, use our community center, but you need the resource to do that with. I remember back here a little while back, I helped some young men. They wanted to do landscape, but they didn't have a truck. They didn't have no more to mow the lawn, things of that nature. And I don't know what it cost, but I think it was something like $20,000, whatever it may be, a little bit more. And we gave it to them and to set that up and to do that well. I haven't heard from them since, of course, but we try to establish that particular situation, but we need to take and get our churches, our ministers involved, and our community centers involved within the community, that people can make sure they can go there. I don't believe in welfare myself. I wasn't raised that way, but I do believe in helping people who may not have it because of health reasons and things of that nature. I do believe that you have to take and help a person that way versus just giving them something and after you give it to them, they don't know how to take and work after it's all gone. But we will set up an area that way to make sure that they can now begin to help themselves, building on things that people don't have to depend on anyone else.
All right, thank you. And 779-801, your mic is open. Give us your name you're calling from and your question or comment for our guest.
Greetings. I'm calling because we could use some type of coalition out here in Pembroke Township, Illinois, where a lot of us farmers would like to work with you in terms of securing and making sure that there's plenty of food available for the people in Chicago when you become mayor. We're a food-growing community, and we need your assistance, and we know we can provide assistance to you. Also, I'm working with the Community Development Corporation, and we're sponsoring an African-American calendar for the month of February. That's actually a year-long curriculum, just February itself. And we'd like for you to see the calendar and possibly use it in your campaign as you for name recognition. So where's your open door that we can come and show you this?
Well, I have a campaign, man. You can always go to my website and get to it that way.
Thank you.
Right now, they got me like, I'll be up at like 6 in the morning. Sometimes I'll get home at the night to 12 o'clock at night. Just some different meetings and things, and town hall meetings, everything else. But I can certainly, first of all, I got to win this election. Let me get this next 3 or 4 weeks out the way. When we get in there, I can promise you that the door will be open.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. And anybody else that's on our switchboard, you need to press 1 now so we can get your question for Dr. Willie Wilson. We got one other. Yes, we got 2 more callers, Mamadee. 773-398 and 202-839. So I'm going to go to 773-398. Go right ahead. Your mic is open. Give us your name, where you're calling from, your comment, your question for our guest.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes. Your mic is open. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. This is Brother Hall. I just wanted to call in and say that Dr. Wilson, we certainly in our community appreciate everything you have done. I personally know for the fact that what you've done for the homeless, because many of that, I had a chance to work with you on that CHA and those different buildings. I just want to thank you. My family wants to thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. We don't need to listen listen to the press. We need to just follow you in terms of what you're doing, because you're doing many things that people are not even thinking about doing, brother. So I want to encourage you and let you know that you're blessed. You know, keep doing what you do, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
All right, and last one, area code 202-839. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and your question or comment for Dr. Wilson.
Alan in Baltimore. You got me. Alan in Baltimore, Maryland. I want to ask him about Westmore. Dr. Wilson, I didn't know you was a millionaire. I used to listen to you on WGN. You still on the air. You sung a good song with your it's like a quartet, music. I never thought, you kind of remind me of John Johnson, you know, the guy that started Ebony. What McDonough and John Johnson had in common? When I used to walk and see the sign of McDonough that sold over 1 billion burgers, and we still support them, always remember this, my friend. Quality is better than quantity. You know, when people say they got a lot of money, if you provide a good quality, people will remember you. And like I said, I admired you. You was a gospel man. You had the other men, they were dignified. So most people don't like people with money. And you're a godly man. When you said $60 million, I'm just saying people get turns about quality. What's the most important, $60 million or 60 million votes? 60 million votes, and convince the other people to keep understanding your quality. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I want to know about Westmore. Thank you, Westmore, first black governor of Maryland. Thank you, Thank you. Thank you very much.
Naima Latif,
Yes.
who is our visionary and working the switchboard, making everything happen. Do you have any questions?
Well, I think Dr. Wilson handled all. Mine was about the trade schools. I think someone asked that question, turning these empty schools into trade schools. My question would just be, how will you involve the contractors who are professional contractors and may be able to help with the teaching process?
Well, I think what we do with those schools that is empty, and some of the schools only fill up maybe 25%, where that, in other words, that if a school holds 1,200 people and you only got maybe 100 some odd people in there, so, and some of them totally closed down. But not only that, you got some of the buildings and everything. I would say employ those contractors into those areas and become economic empowerment within the community, right? And then also turn that into a trade, because you're already paying them to do the job. So put that into a trade school right there on the job training, all right? The school, the houses that people done move out, that left that because maybe they lost it because they couldn't pay the taxes and things of that nature. So I like the idea of empowerment. And then I like the idea of people living in the community, to empower those communities, and that would make sure those communities crime will go down because they got the resources to do it like anybody else would.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Willie Wilson, you certainly do bring a lot to the table, and your ranks in the polls, hey, very better than the votes. But I was at the WJCP Merrill Forum, and I think that they were a little biased against you, and I think that they were biased for Mayor Lightfoot. What do you think?
It's something I've been going through ever since I was a little kid, and I just believe in this much, and I believe that those of us who have faith in Christ to just wait on Him, and your time will come. He won't forsake you, and you'll get your chance. And we are doing that. A lot of the people on the stage up there and everything else, the Lord, they got to get money from somebody else and ask them to them. Myself, the Lord have blessed me with the resources that I don't have to do that. I can use my own dollar to help people, to be for real. And so we get the message out that way, and we'll continue to do so. But once the Community Speaks. We'll be in that pretty soon. We've got, of course, we got support of the American community, which is my base, right? We've got the support of the Polish community, the Italian Police Association, the Filipino Association. We got over 400 or 500 some Latina support. We'll bring it together. We got all the low pass, along with 400 or 500 other ministers out of those communities. Quietly kept, it's coming together. We got a good feel for it. We know we're going to win this next mayor election.
All right.
And it reminds me of when Jane Byrne and Mayor Daley was running for office, and Harold Washington was also running. But they would never feature Harold Washington. It was always Jane Byrne and Daley. But at the end of the day, who finished the finish line? It was Harold Washington. And so I see them doing the same thing to you, always trying to manipulate the polls. Well, if you come out with a poll, you put yourself in the head of that poll. And I don't know how to see. What do you think about that?
We only got about 10 seconds before so we want to make sure he gets his last thought in. Go right ahead.
Okay. A lot of these polls, in my opinion, is polls that's not right. Those people, like Garcia, for example, the people who gave them $1 million to the poll.
Okay, so I just want to say that today, January 28th, has been a very better day, and we just thank you for making history on this female solution Blog Talk Radio. So
thank you so much. Muted.
I think one of the guests said, when you become mayor. They didn't say if you become mayor. So we're
right.
Put out first.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thank you, and thank you. It's been such an honor to have you on the program. You ended your comments with prayer as a candidate. Would you end this with prayer?
Oh, yeah. And dear Lord, we thank you. We thank you for Mother D. We thank you, dear Lord, because you're God. And besides you, there is no other God. We thank you for the people who listen on this broadcast. And we thank you for making it possible for her and all of us to wake up this morning. And we thank you. We love you. And thank you for your grace and your mercy. In Jesus' name we pray for his sake. Amen.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
We've come to the end of our show today, but you can hear every show in the archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family, listeners all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe, India, Lagama, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsamnida, Russia, Spasiba, Germany, Danke, Poland, Jean, France, merci, Spain, gracias, Italy, grazie, Egypt, shukran, Ghana, Madasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Gabonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriya, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessing.